You walked into the salon and asked for something sensible, age-appropriate, easy to manage, and you walked out feeling older than when you sat down. Here's what nobody tells you. The cut you think is safe and easy is often the exact one adding years to your face. It wasn't your hair, it wasn't your age, it was simply the shape of the cut, dragging everything down instead of up. Today, 5 haircuts that soften and lift your whole face, and each one you can ask for by name. The 4th is the one most women think they can't wear. Welcome back, beautiful. I am so glad you're here. Before we start, I want you to really take this in. Your hair is the frame around your face, and it's the first thing anyone sees. The right cut lifts your eyes, softens your jaw, and brightens your whole face. The wrong one quietly drags all of it down. This is not about being brave or drastic, and it is certainly not about chasing youth or pretending to be someone you're not. It's simply about working with your face instead of against it. It's about knowing exactly which 5 cuts do the lifting, and knowing the precise words to say to your stylist so you actually walk out with the cut you pictured. And one small promise before we begin. Not one of these requires you to be dramatic or to change everything about yourself. Every single one can be adjusted, softer, or bolder to suit exactly how much change you're comfortable with. So let's get into it, starting with the easiest one to say yes to. The first one on our list is the soft layered bob, and I already know what some of you are thinking. A bob is basic. I've had a bob before, and it didn't do anything special for me. Stay with me, because there's a very good chance you had the wrong version. Here's what most women get. A blunt, heavy, one-length bob that hangs straight down like a curtain, flat against the head, with a hard bottom edge that sits right at the jaw. And here's the problem with that. A heavy, blunt edge at the jawline draws a hard horizontal line exactly at the point that softens with age, and it drags the whole face down with it. There's no lift, no movement, nothing to draw the eye up. And it tends to sit heaviest right where the face has naturally softened, which is the last place you want to add weight and a hard line. The right version is a completely different thing. A soft layered bob cut somewhere between the chin and the collarbone, with soft internal layers for movement and a slightly longer piece at the front to frame the face. Those layers add lift at the crown and gentle movement around the face, and the eye travels up instead of down. The twist is this. The bob you tried years ago and gave up on was almost certainly the blunt, heavy version. The layered version does the opposite of what that one did. So here are the exact words to bring to your stylist, and I'd write them down before you go. Ask for a soft, layered bob, chin to collarbone length, with a longer front piece and internal layers for movement, and say clearly, not a blunt, one-length cut. That one sentence is genuinely the difference between walking out delighted and walking out disappointed. And here's a small tip that makes a big difference with a layered bob. Ask for that longer front piece to fall somewhere between your jaw and your collarbone, because that soft piece near the face does an enormous amount of the flattering work, drawing a gentle vertical line down alongside your cheeks. If your hair is fine, ask for the layers to be kept soft and blended rather than heavily chopped, so you keep the movement without losing density. It's a forgiving cut that grows out gracefully too, which means fewer salon visits and less worry between them. Now, the next one is the fix for hair that's lost some of its thickness over the years. This next one is where women get nervous, and I understand exactly why. The textured shag or soft modern layers. The objection I hear constantly is this. My hair has gotten thinner, and everyone knows layers make thin hair look even thinner. I understand the fear completely, but it's built on the wrong kind of layers. Here's the version that causes the problem. Choppy, over-thinned, aggressive layers that carve the hair away and leave the ends stringy and sparse, actually exposing the scalp. Yes, those thin you out. But that is not what we're talking about. The right version is soft, strategic layers worked through the mid-lengths and around the face, cut to create the illusion of fullness and movement. Here's the twist that surprises everyone. The fear is that layers thin you out. The right layers do the exact opposite. They build the appearance of volume, because soft graduated layers catch the light and create movement, and movement reads to the eye as fullness. Heavy, blunt, one-length hair, sitting on a head that's thinned, reads as flat and sparse, because it just lies there. So here's what to ask for. Tell your stylist you want soft, face-framing layers and gentle texture through the ends, and use these exact words. I want the look of fullness, not thinned out ends. A good stylist will know exactly what you mean. And here's a detail worth mentioning at your appointment. Ask about point cutting the ends, which is a technique where the scissors are held vertically to soften and texturize the ends, rather than cutting them in a hard, blunt line. That single technique is the difference between ends that look wispy and full of life and ends that look thin and stringy. Most stylists will do it if you ask, but many won't offer it unless you do. It costs nothing extra and it changes everything about how the layers fall. Now this next one is about the front of your face, and honestly, it changes more than any other single thing on this list. I need you to stay with me on this one because it's the most overlooked cut of all 5, and it might do the most. Curtain bangs, a soft, face-framing fringe. I already hear the objections. Bangs are high maintenance. Bangs are for young women. I'll look like I'm trying too hard. And every one of those fears comes from picturing the wrong kind of bangs. The wrong version is a heavy, straight-across, blunt fringe cut hard at the eyebrows. That kind of fringe draws a hard horizontal line across the forehead. It shortens the whole face, and it can look severe. That's the image in your head, and you're right to avoid it. But curtain bangs are the complete opposite. They part softly in the middle and sweep down and out to each side, framing the face like, well, curtains. Here's why they work so beautifully. That soft sweep draws a gentle diagonal line that lifts the eyes and the cheekbones, and it softens the forehead instead of cutting across it. The twist is that most women overlook this cut entirely, because the word bangs makes them think of that hard, blunt fringe, when the soft version is one of the most facelifting things you can do. So here's what to ask for. Curtain bangs, long enough to sweep to the sides and blend into your layers, and say clearly, not a short, straight, blunt fringe. And one more reassurance on the maintenance worry because it's a real one. Curtain bangs are the most forgiving fringe there is, precisely because they're long and swept to the side. When they grow out, they simply blend into your face framing layers instead of hanging in your eyes. So you don't need a salon trip every 3 weeks. A quick trim every couple of months keeps them perfect. They give you the biggest change for the least upkeep of anything on this list. Tell me in the comments right now, are you brave enough for the cut coming up next? Or are you a bob and bangs woman through and through? I read every single one. Now back to it, because cut 4 is the one that surprises everyone. Here it is, cut number 4, the one I promised you, and the one most women are convinced isn't for them. The modern pixie, or the slightly longer pixie bob. And I can already hear it. A pixie is too short, too severe, too masculine. Not for me. I want you to set every one of those fears down for a moment because they all describe the wrong pixie. The wrong version is a flat, tight, uniform pixie, cropped hard and close to the head with no length and no movement anywhere. That version can absolutely look severe, and it can harden the features. That is the pixie you're afraid of, and you're right to be. But the modern version is a completely different thing. A soft, textured pixie, or a longer pixie bob with real length left on the top and wispy, piecey bits left soft around the face. Here's the twist. The fear is that a pixie is harsh and masculine. The modern textured version is soft, feminine, and genuinely one of the most face-lifting cuts there is. Think about what it does. It lifts the entire face, it opens up the eyes and the cheekbones, and the texture on top adds height and softness at the crown. That little bit of height at the crown is quietly one of the most youthful things you can add because hair naturally loses volume there over the years, and a flat crown reads as tired no matter how nice the rest of the cut is. A textured pixie puts all the attention on your eyes and your smile. So here's how to ask for it safely. Bring a photo, always bring a photo for this one, and ask for a soft, textured pixie or a pixie bob with length left on top and wispy pieces around the face. And say the magic words. Soft and textured, not tight and cropped. And I want to gently encourage the women who've always secretly wanted to try a pixie but never dared. So many women say afterward that they wish they'd done it years earlier, that they feel lighter, freer, and more themselves. A soft pixie is wonderful for fine or thinning hair too, because it removes the weight that drags fine hair flat and lets what you have stand up with texture and life. And if you're nervous, you don't have to go all the way at once. Start with the longer pixie bob, and you can always go shorter next time once you see how it lifts your face. Now the last one is the simplest of all, and it flatters almost everyone who tries it. The 5th cut is the collarbone lob with long, soft layers, and this one gently corrects a piece of advice almost all of us were handed at some point. Once you hit 60, cut your hair short. Long hair ages you. I want to untangle that because it's only half true. Here's the version that genuinely does age you. Long, heavy, all one-length hair with no shape to it, hanging straight down and pulling the entire face downward with its weight. That kind of long hair does age you, so the advice wasn't entirely wrong, it was just incomplete. The right version is a lob, a longer bob that hits right around the collarbone, cut with long, soft layers that keep movement and lift through the hair. Here's the twist. You were told long hair ages you, but it's heavy, one-length long hair that ages you. A layered lob is the sweet spot, long enough to feel feminine and versatile, but shaped so it lifts instead of drags. The soft layers at collarbone length frame the face and keep the eye traveling upward, and you still get to keep length you love. So here's what to ask for. A lob that hits right at the collarbone, with long, soft layers to keep movement through it and avoid one blunt length with no shape at all. That's the whole secret to keeping length gracefully. And if you've been quietly dreading being told to cut it all off, this is the cut for you. You get to keep hair you love while still getting all the lift and movement of a shaped cut. It's proof that the choice was never really long versus short at all. So here is what ties all 5 of these cuts together, and it's the real principle underneath every one. It comes down to movement and lift. Every single flattering cut on this list adds softness around the face and draws the eye upward, and every aging cut does the same 2 things wrong. It's heavy, and it's blunt, and it drags the eye down. That's the whole secret. It was never about long versus short at all, the way we were all told for so many years. It was about movement versus weight, and lift versus drag. Once you understand that, you can walk into any salon and describe exactly what you want and know precisely why it will work. And I want to be honest with you about one thing, because I never want to promise more than is real. No haircut erases the years, and it doesn't need to. What the right cut does is lift and soften and brighten so your face looks as fresh and alive as you feel. That's not a small thing at all. And here's the loveliest part. Once you know this one principle, movement and lift over weight and drag, you're never again at the mercy of whatever the stylist decides to give you. You walk in knowing what you want and why, and that quiet confidence is worth as much as the cut itself. If this gave you a new way to think about your next salon visit, give this video a like. It genuinely helps more women find their way here. Subscribe if you want more real, practical style and beauty advice made for this stage of life, with new videos every single week, all made for real women, real mirrors, and real salon visits. And tell me in the comments which of these 5 cuts you're going to try first. And be honest, did the pixie tempt you even a little? I read every single one, and I love hearing from you. Your best years are not behind you. They are happening right now, and the right cut just lets your whole face shine. Stay stylish and stay confident, always. You deserve to feel beautiful exactly as you are today, and the woman looking back at you in that salon mirror deserves a cut that shows her off.